The probability of success is 0.026. The number of trials is 12. And the number of success is 3. I'm sorry, what is the number of success for this? 6. So we calculate. Then we look at the question. Exactly 6 couples will have a destination wedding. So what is the answer? You can look at your probability distribution table if that's what you like to do to see if it's the same as what you have. You can use your TI-83 calculator to see if we are getting the same thing, just to motivate yourself in whatever you are doing. So at least 6 couples will have a destination wedding. At least 6 is greater than equal to 6. Greater than or equal to 6. And fewer than 5 couples will have a destination wedding. Can we use fewer than 5 with 6 here? No. So we are going to come back here and change for this question. We will change 6 to what? To 5. And then we calculate. Fewer than 5. What do we have as answer? Can somebody read it? Fewer than 5. What is the probability that we have fewer than 5? 0.8, 2, 1. Do we all see that? Binomial distribution questions are easy, right? So like you saw in the tech home, we have 2 exercises on binomial distribution. Is that fine for everybody? Yeah. Remember that the mean is n times p. Variance n times p times q. Standard deviation, square root of the variance. Yes. Mm-hmm. At least, think about at least. If I ask you, you have at least 1 sibling. What will that mean? You have at least 1, you can have 2, is that right? Will you say yes? If you have 10, will you say yes? Okay, so at least is the minimum that you can have. Fewer is that it's less than it. At least is more than, but it could be that value. Any other question? Okay. At this point, I'm assuming that if you did not do your take-home problem, is because you did not want to submit it. So I want to go over the take-home problems. I mean, not take-home problems. It is preview. Sorry for this. Answers to preview. So we start with exercise 1. 2 dice are rolled. Find the probability that the sum of the 2 numbers is 5. So we list the possibilities. Remember when we were having those cards with numbers on it? We list all our possibilities. Here there are 2 dice. So you can choose 1 and 4 and 1 can be option. If they are cards, you can have 1 and 4 and you can count it twice. Do we understand here? Because the cards are folded, you can pick 2. So we have 1, 4, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 1. How many outcome with a sum of 5? 4 outcome. So the probability is 4/36. Now, if 1 card is drawn from a standard deck, find the probability of getting a red card or a king. So this is probability of red or king. Using the addition rule for probability is probability of red plus probability of king, we are here, minus probability of red and king. How many cards are red? 26. How many are king? 4. How many king are red? 2. That's the and. So we use this rule to have 28 over 52. Yes. Because it is an. It's not given that. So when you say given that it is red, then you have that it is red already. You know it is red. So a couple have 3 children. Find the probability that exactly 2 are girls. We list all the outcomes. We have done this several times here, either with coin, head and tail, or with children, boys and girls. So we have 8 outcomes, out of which 3 are 2 girls. So the probability of having 2 girls is 3 over 8. Here we have, in a statistics class, there are 16 juniors and 12 seniors. 8 of the junior students are female and 12 of the juniors are males. If a student is selected at random, find the probability that the student is neither a junior nor a female. I did not complete this. We are going to complete this one here. No, neither junior nor female is that it is not junior or female. It's neither of them. So it is the opposite of junior or female. So E equals to neither junior nor female is the same as the complement of junior or female. So it is the complement of junior or female, which we computed up there. So we are going to say that the probability of E is equals to 1 minus the probability of junior or female, which is equals to 1 minus 6 over 7. Which is 7 minus 6 over 7. One minus 6 over 7 is 7 minus 6 divided by 7. That is the minus. So if you understand how to do these things, then that's a good way to be ready for exam. Because I'm going to give you similar questions as these ones. Not exactly these ones, but questions that looks like this. So at a large university, the probability that a student takes calculus and is on the dean's list is 0.042. So we have an here. The probability that a student is on the dean list is 0.21. Find the probability that the student is taking calculus, given that the student is on the dean's list. So we use the conditional probability formula here. Probability that C given D is probability of C and D divided by probability of D. Because we don't have the counting here, like 12 students that take calculus, 15 that takes that are on the dean list and all that, we instead have probability. That's why we are not using the N of. If we were working on this problem here, if I had asked you what is the probability that the student is junior, given that the student is female, then you count the number of junior that are female and divided by the number of female. Just as we were thinking before, when and is together, given that you only consider what is given and take the and inside what is given. So we have 0.2. If you have a question, feel free to ask. If you did something else, we can try to figure out, to explain. So the US Department of Health and Human Services report that 15% of Americans have chronic sinusitis. If 4 people are selected at random, find the probability that at least one has chronic sinusitis. So we have at least one here again. The best way to deal with at least one is to use complement. What is the complement of at least one? None. At least one fail when it is none. And for none, we have to take no, 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 no for each of the cases. So if we knew that 15% of Americans have chronic sinusitis, the percentage of Americans without chronic sinusitis is 85%. So we are now going to find the probability of none has chronic sinusitis, which is 0.85 times 0.85 times 0.85. For how many people? 4. We do that 4 times. And we will get 0.52. Now the probability of E is 1 minus probability of E complement, which is 1 minus 0.52, equals to 0.48. Exercise 3. Yes.
So on that last one, they said that at least like 2 people have chronic sinusitis to the complement of 9.
If it was at least 2?
Yeah.
If it is at least 2, it will be a little bit more work because you are going to get at least 2. The opposite of at least 2 is what? 0 or 1. This one is for 0. You have to do for 1. So you have to do x less than or equals to 1 and take the opposite. But I don't usually ask you that way. It's only for at least 1 that the opposite is none. But if you are doing binomial distribution, because you have that calculator that we can use there, then it could work. Even here, you could use binomial distribution, you know that. But we are working it here as if it is not a binomial, just like a regular problem here. And I can ask you all of them. I can also ask all of them. That means we do 0.15, 0.15, 0.15, 0.15 for having it. So if I ask you this type of problem in exam, you can use it as a binomial distribution if you like, but you should do it correctly. If you use it as a binomial distribution, what will be the probability of success here? 0.15. What is n? The number of trials? 4. So for at least 1, it means P of x greater than or equals to 1. Let's check that. So the probability of success here is 0.15. Number of trials, 4. Number of success, 1. But you have to be careful that you can determine that it is actually a that it is actually a binomial distribution. So at least one is this last one greater than or equals to 1. So you have the answer 0.4. We can just say 0.48. Any other question? There are 6 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 independent candidates. We don't need to. We can remove the S because it's about candidates. 6 Republican candidates, 5 Democrat candidates, 4 independent candidates. How many different ways can a committee of 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 1 independent be selected? So we have 3 stages: selecting 3 Republicans out of 6, selecting 2 Democrats out of 5, and 1 independent out of 4. So we want to know the number of ways of doing each of those. The number of ways to choose 3 Republicans is 6 combination 3. 2 Democrats, 5 combination 2. 1 independent, 4 combination 1, which is 4. And now we multiply it through. Here, this committee is made of 6 people. I could tell you that 6 people are randomly selected. What is the probability that they will be made of 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 1 independent? You will just do the total number of possibility is 15 combination 6. And then this is this, we do 800 divided by 15 combination 6. So you have that same type of problem here. What I'm saying is that on your exam, I can, sometimes what I do that, I give you this question, the next question I say, there are 6 Republican, 5 Democrat, and 4 independent. 6 members are randomly selected. Find the probability that there are 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 1 independent. You have already computed that first number. The next one to compute is the number of ways to select those 6 out of the 15. But when I do that, sometimes you get confused to students, and then you will do the same thing again, or you will be confused about how to do that. Meanwhile, you have already done one step. So that's why I give different questions. So a committee of 5 people is to be formed from 7 students and 6 professors. Find the probability. The committee will be made of 3 students and 2 professors. It's exactly the same type of question, just that here there are only 2 cases, and it seems there are only 2 cases. So you want 3 students and 2 professors. You want to select 5 people out of how many? Out of 13. So the number of ways is 13 combination 5. You don't need to write all of this formula. I only want to see the number of ways to 5 people is 13 combination 5 equals to. If you do this computation I'm doing and get it correctly, no problem. But if you know how to use your calculator to get it correctly, no problem. Do we get this? So I put this one here because it's this, the slowest and the more mathematical way to do it. But if you have your calculator and you know how to use the calculator, you will be fine. Most calculator can do combination. If you take a scientific calculator on Google, let's try that. We may need binomial distribution again. Scientific calculator is different from binomial calculator. With binomial calculator, you can only do binomial problems. This one is not very good. I usually use this one. You see the one I use, the Web 2.0 calculator. So what did we want to do? 13 combination 5. So let me see. So they want us to write here 13. Each calculator has its own way. This is 13 combination 5. I took this calculator from Google. Then we go back to so you can do 13 combination 5. Then you are going to find a number of ways the committee will be made of 3 students and 2 professors. It's 7 combination 3 times 6 combination 4. This one you can easily do it manually. 7 combination 3. But you can use your calculator. 7 factorial. Which is 7, 6, 5, 4 factorial. This will go, 3 factorial is 6. And then 6 combination 2. 6, 4, 5, 6. This will go 15. So you will do 35 times 15 equals to 525. And the probability that the committee is made of 3 students and 2 professors will be 325 divided by 1287. Okay. If a person rolls a sum of 5 when she tosses 2 dice, she wins $5. For the game to be fair, how much should she pay to play the game? So I told you this before. Revenue minus cost equals to profit. So expected profit is expected revenue minus expected cost. Most of the time, the cost is constant, like in this case, it will cost him $5. And we should remember that a game is fair if the expected profit is 0. So if the expected profit is 0, then the fair price is the expected cost is the expected revenue. The expected revenue is the expected cost. So I just explained that. You don't need to explain all of that to me. So if it is on the exam, you only need to give me, you only need to tell me that the fair price is the expected revenue. So essentially, you will say here, fair price equal to expected revenue. And the revenue, you make a table. Is $5 when you pay a sum of 5, and 0 when you don't pay a sum of 5. Now we remember that to get a sum of 5, the probability was what? 1/9. So generally, that is what I do, is something that you have already done. So you will not have to spend the time to do all the computation again. I always put some questions with some connections so that you understand what you are doing when you are taking your exam. And here, so the expected revenue, which is the expected price. So this is a question that can take you much time, but find the mean, variance, and standard deviation of this distribution. To find a mean, you multiply each value by its probability. Multiply each value by its probability. So you will have -2/8 plus 0 plus 1 times 3/8, that's 3/8, plus 2 times 2/8, that's 4/8. So that gives you -2 plus 3 is 1, plus 4 is 5, 5/8. Now, E of x squared, you will square each of the values before you multiply by the probability. So you will do -2 squared plus times 1/8 plus 0 squared times 2/8 plus 1 squared times 3/8 plus 2 squared times 2/8. So that will be 4/8 for -2 squared times 1/8. 0 times 2/8. 1 squared times 3/8 is 3/8. And then 2 squared is 4 times 2, 8. That will give 8/8. So here we are going to get 15/8. That is E of x squared. The variance is E of x squared minus mean square. Expected value of the square times the square of this minus the square of the expected value. Be careful about that. So we will get 95/64. Okay. And the square root of the variance is the standard deviation. A survey found that 2 out of 5 Americans say he or she has visited a doctor in any given month. If 16 people are selected at random, let X be the number of visits to the doctor. The probability of success is P equals to 2/5. 2 out of 5. Find the probability that 7 or more have visited the doctor last month. 7 or more is the same as at least 7, right? At least 7 is the same as 7 or more. Let's look at our calculator. So the probability of success is 0.4. The number of trials, 16. You can see it again here. 16 people are selected at random. And the number of success is 7. So the probability for at least 7 is 0.47. Oh, have I skipped something? Okay. And so here I did not write the final answer. So the final answer here is 1 minus 0.53 equal to 0.47. What is the mean, variance, and standard deviation? The mean is n, number of trials, times probability of success, 6.4. Variance is npq. Q is 1 minus p. Which is 1 minus 0.4, which is 0.6. And we have sigma square equals to 3.84, and sigma equals to square root of the variance, that is square root of 3.84. In a binomial distribution problem, there are n equals to 7 trials, and the probability of success at each trial is p equals to 0.45. What is the probability that there will be exactly 3 successes? And what is the mean? This is just for you to practice more. So here n equals to 7, p equals to 0.045. N equals to 7, and 3 here. So I want to make sure that after doing this preview, you know how to manipulate binomial calculators. You know what is the meaning of each of the questions that I asked. That is the aim of the preview. So if you have submitted your preview, I will grade it. If you don't want it to count for you, you just send me an email and I will delete the score you have. If you like it to count for you, if you don't send me an email, I will. So preview was not intended for grade, but because I want those who have done it to get some points for doing it. So I will grade it, and then if you don't like it, I delete it. So exam will be on Tuesday with 5 exercises of this type of format. If you have any question, doing your homework, yes. I'm going to post this on Canvas. Any other question? As you did last time, exam will be take home. I'm sorry, open book, not take home. Open book, meaning that you can use your computer, you can go to Google, you can open your textbook or your notes, but that does not mean you shouldn't study, because the time you spend opening your note, that's why you don't finish on time. So open book exam just means that I know there are some formula you might not be able to remember. You know where it is, you just, if you forget it, you just go and confirm. It's not the time for you to read. If I see you reading, I know you can't make it on time. But you cannot study and take exam in 1 hour. Okay, so don't rely on the fact that it's take home not to study. Take this take home problem. If you are the laziest students in the class, take the take home problem. Make sure you take 1 hour. I want to do it as if it was exam. That's the best way to do the least you need to prepare for the exam. Okay. That's it. We see you on Thursday. Let me post this on Canvas. So you can sanitize if you want to leave your seat. Feel free to go. And if you have questions, you can always hold